India's zero tolerance for terrorism is manifest today through its actions. This includes our right to defend ourselves against terrorism. And we have shown that epicenters of terrorism are no longer safe and we will not hesitate to target them. We should also take proactive steps to prevent the spread of the radicalization among our youth. The RATS mechanism of SCO has played a significant role in this regard. The joint statement of the Council of SCO heads of state on countering radicalization leading to terrorism, separatism, and extremism issued during India's chairmanship symbolizes our shared commitment. Excellencies, we should seek to counter the technology used by terrorists, including drones for cross-border smuggling of weapons and drugs. In our interconnected world, traditional borders are no longer the sole barriers against threats, and instead we face an intricate web of challenges that range from translational terrorism and cyber attacks to hybrid warfare. These threats do not respect national boundaries and they demand a unified response rooted in transparency, mutual trust, and collaboration. India reaffirms its resolve to fight terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. Excellency, I believe that the biggest challenges that we are facing in our region are related to peace, security, and trust deficit. And the root cause of these problems is increasing radicalization, extremism, and terrorism. Excellency, peace and prosperity cannot coexist with terrorism and the proliferation of weapons of the mass destruction in the hands of the non-state actors and the terror groups. Dealing with these challenges require decisive action, and we must unite in our fight against these evils for our collective safety and security. It is imperative that those who sponsor, nurture, and utilize terrorism for their narrow and selfish ends must bear the consequences. Some countries use cross-border terrorism as an instrument of policy and provide shelter to terrorists. There should be no place for such double standards. SCO should not hesitate to criticize such nations.
With that, we're now cutting across to Pranay Upadhyay, who's joining us on the broadcast. Pranay, a very good morning to you. We just heard what Rajnath Singh had to say, the defense minister at the SCO summit, in the opening remarks. And as we were discussing earlier, the agenda for India is definitely one of the main agendas is definitely counter-terrorism and zero tolerance towards terrorism, especially cross-border terrorism at this given point. But, you know, interestingly, let's also take a look at this, that at this point, this seems to be one of the first global platforms where both Indian defense minister as well as the Pakistani defense ministers are attending. So we will also be keeping a close watch as to how Khwaja Asif has to react to this very comments coming in from India.
Good morning, Shreya. And you're absolutely right that this is for the first time, at a time when Operation Sindoor is still on. Both Indian and Pakistani defense minister would be attending one event, and that to be in China. But from the soil of China, defense minister has significantly, he not only highlighted this issue, he has also called upon the member state to isolate and identify and shed off the duplicity of standards as far as the counterterrorism is concerned. He had mentioned the RATS, which is the regional anti-terror mechanism, as part of the SCO mechanism, as part of the SCO structure, to efficiently work and to address this issue. Because the SCO, which is called Shanghai Cooperation Organization, if that organization has to work efficiently, it need to address the issue of terrorism, cross-border cross-border terrorism, which poses challenges for the multilateralism, for the regional cooperation and safety and security, if not addressed, cannot lead to the wider regional cooperation. And that's why he has highlighted his address not only highlights the issue of Pahalgam terror attack, Operation Sindoor, cross-border terrorism, but also he has called on the member state to address the issue of perpetrators, those who harbor terrorists, and those. Even he did not name Pakistan as a member state, as a country, but he highlighted this issue by saying that those who pursue, those who protect, those who fund the perpetrators of terrorists need to be called upon. They need to be isolated, and this issue need to be addressed. So this becomes very important. He also called upon the member state to act and highlight the issue of Pahalgam terror attack, which was a heinous terror attack carried out by TRF, one of the offshoot of Lashkar-e-Toiba. Lashkar-e-Toiba is an organization which is based out of Pakistan, whose mastermind, whose founder, Hafiz Saeed, is still in Pakistan. So this clearly shows that, how emphatically Indian side, Indian Defense Minister has erased the issue of terrorism from the forum of Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Also, share this is significant because Indian Defense Minister is visiting China. We all know that how China helped, the Chinese aircraft, Chinese military hardware was used by Pakistan during the Op Sindoor conflict. And so that's why Indian Defense Minister from the Chinese soil calling upon the member state to act decisively against the duplicity, to eliminate the radicalism, to eliminate terrorism is important. Also, bilaterally, if you see, this is for the first time Indian and Chinese defense ministers would be meeting post Galwan conflict in last 5 years.
Right.
This is for the first time they would be meeting on the Chinese soil, though they did meet in Russia and in other places. But this is for the first time Indian defense minister is visiting China. So from the bilateral context as well, this meeting, his visit becomes very important.